welcome back to the channel. Today we are back for another adventure just outside of Eureka, Colorado, which is just outside of Silverton, Colorado. So don't worry if you haven't heard of it, because it's pretty much a ghost town, because all that remains is mining history and a campground. And today we are climbing its namesake, Eureka Gulch, to get another gulch under our belt, explore some history, and just spend a beautiful day in the mountains. So we got a climb ahead of us. Let's go. Got to see what's behind you, how the sun is coming over the mountain. Absolutely glorious. She a beaut. Got a tram line up there because of course it wouldn't be one of my Colorado videos if we weren't exploring an old mine. So that tram line is going to connect from the start where we're at all the way to where we're going. I don't know what that is. It's not a tram line. Might be a little, maybe transfer station. Might be another mine. I mean, there definitely looks like there's some minerals just based on the color. And this looks like a bit of tailings piles up there. Doesn't seem to be any way to get up there without scrambling on scree. And I don't want to do that just a second. Maybe when we come back down. That for sure was a down tram line. You can always tell because tram lines, one, they always had that top header, has metal up on the top. This one's pretty signature. They've all had the same shape, and that was there. And then typically they're made of lots of triangles, for lack of a better term. So you can always tell like the pieces of the triangles, and then the bolts are pretty telling too. So if you can see a bolt, you know. And also, duh, it's in line with all the other ones. But if you just saw that solo, that's how you know. So that down there is South Fork Trail. Was not on my radar, but I see a very large tailings pile structure up the river. Looks like another structure. So we might take a little side quest. A lot of it's flat, which is nice because I still have a lot of climbing to do. But it looks like it's a worthy side quest. So we'll head down there hopefully on the way back. Thinking this tram station is probably up on that wall behind me that is washed out. Came flying into the tree. Because it's not connected to the ground. At first I thought, oh my God, did the tree go around it? But it is up in the air, kind of hugging the tree. So I would assume that it was probably up on this hill that has been washed away.
From the balcony, I hear the buzz of busy bees, the noise of frazzled people hurrying somewhere they'd rather be.
We have opened up into this valley, and you can see where we gotta go. We're only a little over 2 miles in, so we got a little bit. So far, it's just been kind of a very steady climb. There's only been a couple like really steep parts, but we're just doing pole pole, which means slowly, slowly. Trying to bypass some altitude sickness since we are going into the high 12s. So taking it nice and slow, and honestly, my only plan for today is to just enjoy being out here. So going slow, taking in the view, finding all the old mine remnants in the hills. It's actually kind of perfect. So the pace works. Literally as I finished that line and started going pole pole again, I see this. I would have never caught it because it is the color of the surrounding rock had I not been going slow. So there you go. Perfect example of why pole pole is really fun. You find all the things that you were missing, you would be missing if you're moving faster. Those are so cool. It's like the tram went across, as you can see remnants down there. So it went across and straight up, man. Whew. And then across.
Is missing the view. You can scream at the traffic or enjoy the commute. I'll take the scenic road over, look out the window for you. You got plans in motion and moolah to make, but you're planning tomorrow and missing today. But this moment is something I'd rather not waste. I'm here now, tomorrow can wait.
I jinxed myself. Said it had been a nice steady climb. That last mile was steep. You can see we're now above the structure, so we got some climbing in. Whew. And marmots. He's so not a fan of marmots. In his defense, they sound like a smoke detector that's lost its battery, and he hated those. So, whew. I'm gonna go slow here for a second and just recoup from that. I would still consider this like moderate because like it's not technically hard, it's a road. But the higher you are, the harder the miles feel. Sheesh. Oh, he's coming down. Marmots, they always get me. It's okay, Bubby. It's okay. So afraid of them. So we are starting to see some remnants of mining history. We had some open shafts back there that have been closed off. We've got some more tram lines. We've got some processing stations. You can see some structures high up on the hill over there. So let me tell you about this hike before we get to the mine, and then I'll tell you about the history of the mine. So we are on the Eureka Gulch to Lake Emma OHV route. It is about 8 miles, a little over from where we started, about 2,500 foot of gain. It is an OHV route, and I would say up until like that flat area with the structure, I would have been completely comfortable taking my truck as a newbie off-roader. After that, it does get a little more technical, a little steeper. Then there is a parking area up here. This trail actually isn't fully open yet, as you saw by the snow. So, and there was a truck sitting there. He actually passed me on the road in hours ago, so I don't know where he is up here. Man, the altitude will get you. You are in the mid 12,000 foot here, and we're gonna be going a little bit further up, but you are absolutely just surrounded by an amazing basin of mountains here, and it is absolutely just stunning. I personally prefer hiking passes, it's okay, baby. He scares me too, because with going slowly, you get to see so much stuff. I feel like I would have missed a lot of stuff. Like we have a few side quests that we're gonna do on the way back, but I would have missed so much stuff by driving. So I love hiking these. I wasted a lot of time in Colorado not hiking passes, like OHV passes, because I thought they weren't worth it and I wanted to stick to trails. But I highly recommend, especially if you're near Silverton, you don't have an off-road vehicle, or you have a high energy dog, or you're a high energy person. Fiends is like trying to run away from the marmot. Then I highly recommend you check them out. There's various ratings, and I'm kind of on a mission now to do them all. All right, this guy will not stop beeping at me. Fiends he's swimming, so we're gonna go. What you doing in there? Isn't that ice? Yeah. To the Sunnyside Mine. So this was one of the big ones in the San Juans. Mining kicked off here in the late 1800s, and by the early 1900s, this place was finding gold, silver, lead, zinc. Any mineral you could name, they were pulling out of this ground. At its peak, hundreds of miners were living in these remote mountains. And for the families down in Silverton, Sunnyside was really the backbone of their economy, and it was generational work for many of the families. Life up here was truly not glamorous. Winters, as you can imagine in this basin, were brutal. We're talking snow that measured in feet, not inches. Most of the guys lived in really basic bunkhouses. They would work their 10-hour shifts underground, come into the bunkhouse. Some were even connected to the shafts, so you legit never saw the sun. And then they do it all over again the next day. It was a hard life, but it was really, really steady pay since the mine was such a large producer, and that meant a lot in these mountains. Now, this mine had its share of drama too. The normal cave-in, strikes, accidents. But in 1912, there was something wild that happened. A fire that started underground and burned for months. Whole sections of the mine had to be sealed off. Somehow, though, Sunnyside would always bounce back. New investors would step in, production would start up again, and the mine kind of just kept going. But then there's this structure. And honestly, it made me feel like I was kind of in the Scottish Highlands. It's concrete and block, and that is super rare to see. Most of the mines in the San Juans left behind wood or rusted metal, but Sunnyside built their mill with concrete. Super solid, super permanent, like they thought this mill was going to run forever. And honestly, it was one of the last to shut down for Silverton, so maybe they were kind of right. Hold on, that's mine. Here's yours. Snacks of champs. Ready? Cheers! I wonder if mine workers had lunch here. Actually, one other thing to note, if you do bring an OHV or a Jeep or your truck, or heck, your Subaru would probably make it up this one, up here, and you still want to hike this heck of oxygen. This peak behind me is Bonita Peak, and it is climbable from here. I think it would be an amazing climb. It does look like it's pretty snowed out right now. You can see kind of the trail right there, and it's pretty covered in snow. So we're not gonna bag it because I'm more of a mine bagger, and I really want to try to get to that structure that we passed. And then I also want to go down and do the South Fork. So I've got to pick my extra side quests, and I'm always going to choose a mine. Always. Never fails. I love a peak, but I feel like I'm a queen of the world, and Feeney is a king of the world right here. So look at old things on top of beautiful mountain things. This is actually one of the harder ones to navigate. Might not be as visited maybe. A lot of the All Trails photos were from a long time ago. But yeah, like usually a lot of the mines have very distinct paths where people have walked, and maybe they're just covered by snow right now. But I mean, I'm just climbing down a tailings pile right now. That's history in your mouth. Based on all the destruction I am seeing, I have a feeling there is a shaft back there. It kind of looks like a shaft house. It looks a bit like there was a rail for the cars. Just kind of based on like what's built into the wall behind me, I have a feeling this might have been a shaft. Might just be covered by the snow. I could be wrong. Could have been a boarding house. But just based on the full destruction that's here, although there's a lot of glass. And I have started to notice that where there were boarding houses is where all the glass is. So, which makes sense. We'll see, hopefully when I get the video, when I get home and we get the pictures. So, boom, book. All right, I think that might be most of the destruction. Most of the remaining pieces. There's just some scattered, but it doesn't look like anything else big. Well, this is wild. So there's some box springs, there's bed frames. A lot of the bed frames up here were metal. That honestly just looks like a pile of bed frames and box springs. That's wild. It's all just in this one area. I'm going to assume the snow is covering a lot right now, because I feel like I can't put the pieces together, guys. There are more bricks over here, so yeah, but that's a new one for me. Just a pile of oh pottery. Oh no, this is from an electric wire. So they had electricity up here. Those are when we were at the very beginning, that shot I took. That's what that's from. So maybe there was an electrical pole up here too. Wild. Yeah, that's kind of, okay, that's what this bolt looks like. It would have been on. Yeah. Yep. And there's more of that ceramic down, or porcelain, whatever it is down here. Oops. Carnage continues, but that just shows you how big this production was up here. Got what looks to be an ore cart down there. More electrical. Another bed frame over there. Got a metal structure that we're coming up against. Yeah, I bet when the snow melts, there's a lot up here. Ooh, this is a shaft. Ah, fully collapsed. Dang it, they stop all my fun. Basin just gets more and more beautiful the more and more we walk. So we've gone past the main structure. We've come open into some more basins. I think this might have been where the lake was. And you can see trails climbing the whole mountain. So you can probably just, ridge run up here, man. But right now, covered in snow. So I don't think you're gonna be doing much. The beginning of the end started on June 4th, 1978. And it had nothing to do with mining. They didn't run out of ore. It didn't diminish in quality. It had absolutely nothing to do with the rock. It had something to do with water. See, there was a beautiful, glistening alpine lake in this basin named Lake Emma. And on Sunday, June 4th, Lake Emma burst through and flooded Sunnyside Mine. Now, they had been tunneling under Lake Emma for quite a while. They knew they were getting close. They did their safety checks. They thought they were safe, but they were not. And on that fateful Sunday, thousands and thousands of gallons of water and mud came crashing into the workings. The collapse was completely catastrophic. Whole sections of the mine were flooded. They caved in. Sunnyside tried for a while to recover, but it truly was the beginning of the end, and they closed shortly after. The lake, it never came back. So what used to be a deep, shimmering, beautiful alpine lake is now just a meadowy basin. If you didn't know the story, you actually might think it was always that way, a barren, open basin. But in reality, you are looking where an entire lake once stood. And that is just mind-boggling to me. So that definitely screams where Lake Emma was, which now helps me because I know the pictures that I have Lake Emma in it. So now I feel very orientated. This video, these photos will never do this place justice. I can tell you that right now. This place is stunning and really, really special. And I know you can only hear the wind, but when the wind is not whipping, it is silent. Guys, I think I found a piece of jean. Oh no, it's not jean, it's like some other interesting fabric. It's like work trousers. Wow. Just tucked under a piece of wood. Feeny was playing with a rock and wow, that's super cool. This must have been a house. I just saw my first little mini avalanche. That slope right there gave way and just kind of tumbled down, which is why I said I wouldn't be climbing any of these peaks because as the temps warm up, the ledges start to let go. So I got to see my first one. It was little, but I will remember that sound. It's very, very, very noticeable, even above the wind.
Stones we carry, clothes we lived in, all the tales we will tell our children.
We made it to our first side quest, which was this standing tram station, I guess. And then there's one a little further that was down. Super cool. I'm so glad. I haven't been this close to an old one like this, so super cool. And I'm trying to decide what other side quests to do. By the time we're all said and done with side quests, we're probably gonna be 11, 12 miles, which is a lot for fiends. So I can't do them all. So I'm glad I did this one, but now I gotta figure out which ones I'm gonna omit. So I've been standing here, and I think we're gonna get 3 of our 4 side quests in. My other side quest was to get up to that building, and I can see the trail that gets you partial way there. Then you kind of have to yeet it up the side of the mountain, but it is completely covered in snow. And so for the amount of effort that would take, by the time we're all said and done, Fiends and I are gonna be around probably 11 miles. He's starting to get tired. It's gonna be like 6 hours time on feet because we've played around so long up here. So I don't wanna push him too far, too much. So I'm gonna ditch that side quest. Maybe when we come back in the fall, we might do it because there won't be snow. I just don't wanna have him expand all that effort and then not be able to get up there and then not be able to do that little South Fork. So we did our 2. We did the the tram line, and we did whatever that was. It kind of looked like its own mining operation, but sadly, we're gonna have to save that glorious building for another day. That's okay. Just been on that little side spur, South Fork. Beautiful. I passed a couple campgrounds or camp spots. Beautiful, but man, you wouldn't know what I'm walking up to right now is even here had I not seen it from above. I have no idea what one this is. None. Nada. Sub-zero. No. Wow, this was much bigger than I thought it was. Must have connected to the tram lines because they're all through here. So it continues to go up. Wow, this thing was huge. But as you can see, Feeny is getting tired. I'm starting to get sunburnt, even though I have SPF on. So I think we're just gonna explore down at the bottom just a little bit more before heading back. This looks like a beautiful trail. There's like a whole gate and everything to get back here. So it looks like a well-developed trail, and now I have something fun and new to research because I know the name, I know the location, and we'll see what this is. It was big enough that there has to be some sort of history, detail, so on and so forth. She was a big one. It's time to boogie on out of here. Fiends is definitely tired. I stepped on his tail, poor kid. But this is a really cool stop. There was probably another building high up there that's since been taken down. Probably some tram lines down here as well because there's been cable on the ground. And it's really cool that there's a whole nother trail up there for me to discover. And if I ever want to do some truck camping, there's some beautiful spots down here. So worthy side quest. But now it is time to finish off these 2 miles because this was almost a mile. So I've added 2 more. So now I've got about 2 miles, long story short, to get back to the truck, and it's time. We aren't even back yet. We've already done over 3,000 foot gain, y'all. Gain. We still have quite a bit to drop. We're only at 2,600. And what is wild is that I had my watch off during a lot of that climbing stuff. I had it paused because I tried to just use it to track miles in and miles out. So I'm so proud of Feeny, like so proud of Feeny. 11 miles, 3,000 foot gain, like 9.5 with the PPDH and the sarcoma. Like, this kid is kicking ass and taking names, and I'm so proud of him. You know, I think back to last year where like we got the diagnosis. I'm gonna lose my hat, and I didn't even know I would get another year with him. So to not only get a year, but to be doing this, I just feel so blessed. Hopefully you could hear any of that. Made it back to the truck in one piece, feeling great. We're gonna head back to the pod. I'm gonna make some food for both of us before we head into town. I figured after this many miles and spending 7 hours hiking that I would probably be pretty useless the rest of the day. I actually feel pretty great, but we're not gonna go do another one. So I figured grocery day is perfect, especially because I'm about out of groceries. So, back to the pod. I look a little rough, but I feel fantastic. Need a shower. Back to the pod. Fiends has already eaten his food and taken a nap. I've only been here a few minutes because I'm just making these. This is literally like all I've got, y'all. So, these Nora sides. Making some noodles. And these take like all of 10 minutes to make, and Fiends has already devoured his food and gotten cozy. Bon appetit. We did that 2-hour small town Colorado grocery run. If you're new here, Silverton is in the middle of nowhere, and it does have a small grocery store, but it is very expensive and you can't really do full grocery shopping. I always support it. Always go there for some extras, get Feeny ice cream, those kinds of fun things, but I don't do my full grocery shopping there. So we went into Durango today. You either have the choice of Durango or Montrose. I decided to go into Durango today, and I made for dinner, this is what I was craving, ravioli. I have some ground beef in there, some spinach for health, and this was what I wanted. So I've got this. I've got Grimm, the best. I've watched it before. I tend to rewatch shows because I don't pay much attention, so if it's a new show, I get kind of lost. But I've got Grimm on, and I am going to cozy into bed and eat this with the beans. You really didn't think we were gonna end this day, this epic hike day, without a treat? Stopped at Silverton Grocer on the way home from getting groceries. Spent more money there. I got Fiends, his Haagen-Dazs vanilla. That became our thing. This is like the perfect size for the pupperdo. So we've got his Haagen-Dazs vanilla. And then I wasn't planning on getting me anything, but they had Cherry Garcia, which is the best Ben & Jerry's flavor. And I actually just watched a whole episode on how Ben & Jerry's was developed, like the history of Ben & Jerry's. So I don't know, maybe it just spoke to me, but I haven't seen Cherry Garcia in a while. It sounded amazing. So I have some Cherry Garcia. Feeny has some vanilla. We are ready to really settle in for the night. I think I'm going to leave you here. We will see you guys on the next adventure, wherever the road